Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the most interactive wrestling show on the interweb. Welcome back to Wrestling with Omer. I am your host with the most, Omer Q. Welcome to the program, everyone. We've got a fantastic show for you tonight. As you guys know, this is the show where if you guys have a question, you got a comment, you got a concern, you leave it in the chat. We're going to talk about it. You guys are also welcome to leave a super chat to guarantee your question or statement is read out on the air. We've got a lot to get into, a lot of news bits. First of all, I want to wish everyone a very early happy Valentine's Day as someone who was born right around Valentine's Day. I'm very partial to that. Is the audio out of sync? It's a good question. Is the audio out of sync? Do I have to restart the audio? We'll figure that out as we go along. No, Leo, it is just... Yeah, damn right, Leo, it's just you. Making me think I got my whole thing out of sync. Just for you. Well, of course I would, just for you. Because you are wonderful, Leo. Thank you to everyone in the chat, guys. You guys know what to do. Be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that fun jazz that I tell you and plug all the time. We got a lot to get into today. We're going to be talking about AEW Grand Slam Australia. AEW's been on a roll with some of these shows they've been putting on the past couple of weeks. And we're going to talk about that big Australia show they have coming up. A lot of matches that have been built up fantastic. I think overall that show is going to be a fun watch with some pretty big moments. And we're also going to be talking about the big news this week of Ricky Starks. Yes, Ricky, by God, Starks, making his long-awaited debut in WWE. We got a lot to get into. Got Dynamite calling out the MTV hoodie. You're damn right, man. You're damn right. We love the MTV hoodie. Love it. I can already see all of y'all's wonderful chats. Leo saying Virgin Day is crazy, Leo. Welcome, everyone. Guys, be sure to leave a thumbs up. Hey, Omer, I think Jay White is going to betray Copeland and cost him the title at Revolution. Would you like to see a program between these two? I would love to see a program between those two. My only gripe would be I don't want this to drag out like that. I think at least like that should not be the main event of Revolution if that's the case. I think that would be a weird note to leave on. I think the unfortunate thing is you can't really have Jon Moxley and the AEW World Championship main event, your biggest show of March, unfortunately, for AEW. That's kind of the position that they have put themselves in as of recently. But, we'll see. Hopefully they can figure it out. I do think, I really do believe that there's a middle ground that AEW is going to settle into. Because I know people are coming back around on the whole Death Rider stuff. And I still think that there's a lot to dislike about that whole group. But I feel a lot better about it today than I did, say 2-3 weeks ago. Got Trevor, co-host of OT Graps. Go check out the latest episode of OT Graps in the archives. Absolute Starks, the pride of Nolans. Our boy Trevor representing the, I don't even know what they call it. The Bayou. Representing the Bayou down there. It's like, wait, Omer, tell everyone it's not a pay-per-view. It's not. Grand Slam is in fact not a pay-per-view. In case people were still wondering. Jay White should remain a babyface for the whole year. I think there should be good plans around Jay White. I think Jay White should probably beat Daniel Garcia for the TBS championship. I think he should be a TBS champion. That'd be a great direction for him to go in. But we'll see if that ends up happening. But let's first talk about Ricky Starks. I know that that's a big one. Do you want to see Starks do a speed run in NXT? A speed run in NXT? Yeah, I think that's what it's going to end up being. But let's talk about it. So Ricky Starks made his long-awaited debut in All Elite Wrestling. Well, no, not All Elite Wrestling. he made it long way to debut in All Elite Wrestling a couple years ago, but Ricky Starks made his long. I am very unable to speak today. My apologies. Ricky Starks is now in NXT, is what I'm trying to say, and it's a major moment for both Ricky and WWE. Of course, Ricky has not been on TV for nearly a year at this point. People are wondering, where has he been? What's going on? And the key question, did AEW fumble him? And to answer that, I'll just say it quite frankly, yes. AEW fumbled the absolute shit out of Ricky Starks. There is no way to go around it. There's no way to really defend it. It is just what happened. And I am sure that Ricky and others are going to speak about what has happened between the two sides over the next couple of months, potentially years. Eventually, the stories will get out there. And the reality is, it just seemed like AEW made a decision at a certain point that they were willing, yes, to re-up Ricky's contract, even though he decided not to move forward and did not want them, I should say, to move forward with renewing the contract. But they made a decision to not only renew the contract, but then not have him appear on TV. And it was not reportedly a case of Ricky not wanting to do business. Ricky, by all reports, was more than willing to go in there and do business and put people over. However, that was just not in the cards. That's just not the direction that AEW apparently went in. Instead, one of your most talented talkers, one of your best wrestlers, a guy who had all of the potential, still has all of the potential in the world, you kept him on the sidelines. And this is after years and years and years of start and stop with Ricky Starks. Ricky is, as I said before, a great athlete, a fantastic talker, has probably every skill that you would want in a professional wrestling talent. And he already had a pretty tumultuous run in AEW. You go back and look at the fallout with Punk. He was supposed to have a big match with Punk for the Real World Championship, that strap match that was being built up for Chicago All Out 2023. Of course, Punk gets fired. The biggest victim of that, evidently, was Ricky Starks, because it was Ricky who had to deal with the fallout. It was Ricky who had to deal with the after effects of that entire situation. And yes, they had a great match with Bryan Danielson and Starks at that show. Fantastic, arguably my match of the year that year. But it didn't really help in the weeks that followed because Ricky did not have a set story. He wins the AEW Tag Team Championships with Big Bill. And then when he loses them to Sting and Darby Allin, he's basically gone from the company at that point. He's not seen for months, actually not seen ever until his recent appearance on NXT. So the question is why? And I think there's definitely, at least like from the outside looking in, a bit of a, maybe they just didn't see him as the talent that we all believe that Ricky is, because I think it's undeniable. I mean, you watch any of his promos in AEW, this man had an infectious way of speaking that got you, the fans, engaged. He was able to rile up a crowd just off of his own cadence. He is an elite level promo. And I don't use that term lightly. I don't use that phrase as just like any person I like. That's like genuinely my wrestling analysis. I really do think that Ricky Starks, and he's going to get a major chance to show it in WWE, is one of the best promos in pro wrestling. Has he been given the time that he needs? Probably not. But I do think that he has a chance now that he is going to be with WWE to highlight that in a way that he did not get a chance to as much as he should have in AEW. The biggest thing I can point to is back in 2022, Ricky was trusted with having the first match that Maxwell Jacob Friedman, as the AEW World Champion, had at Winter is Coming, defending his belt. He was tasked with helping keep Max and establish him as a champion. And he did that. But he also left enough of a doubt in your mind when he cut that promo and he told Max, "You're not ready for this responsibility, and at winter is coming, I'm taking that responsibility off your plate, little boy." That still resonates with me to this day. It's one of the best promos that Ricky has ever cut. And he's been doing it on a consistent basis. So, to me, I think that AEW fumbled him. I think that he's a guy, even if he was on his way out, you either go about trying to keep him, put the title on him, put the TNT title on him, show him that he is appreciated. Because one thing I can say from the outside looking in is, if I'm Ricky Starks and all the stuff that's happened in AEW happened to me, I'd kind of feel like maybe it is time for a fresh start. You're going to blame the guy for wanting to leave when every major storyline, every major push he's had has kind of been like stopped right in his tracks? You're going to blame a guy for wanting a fresh start after you putting him on the shelf for a year and then telling him he can't do GCW dates because of a petty grievance, apparently, that Tony Khan had, and then having Chris Jericho not only appear in GCW a week or two later, but share a ring with the person who made the comments that allegedly, reportedly, made Tony Khan upset. It don't make no sense to me, bro. There's a certain level of pettiness here. And that is just indicative of the problem. AEW fumbled Ricky Starks. Case point closed. And as far as what he does next, will he have a speed run? I saw that question in the chat in NXT. I think so. It's been reported by a couple of outlets. Fightful Select, I believe, is the one that reported that, the deal obviously came together very quickly, and that Ricky Starks that's one of the reasons why he didn't hear the name Ricky Starks, and that Ricky was actually kind of put in NXT because it's the most fluid of all of the brands in WWE. They already have their Mania plans rolled out, and they're already building towards that. So it's easier to just plug him into NXT and then kind of go from there instead of having him on the main roster initially. And I think it is going to be a speed run. I would say by SummerSlam, I would expect Ricky to be back into the fold on the main, or in the fold, I should say, on the main roster. And I think, personally, when you have a guy who has the talent, the ability, and the reputation that Ricky Starks has, immediately put those rocket ship on him, have him go face Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, have him face Cody, and put him over. And there's a good chance that Cody by then is not going to be the champion, as the idea at least is that he's going to face John Cena at WrestleMania, and that Cena would win the belt. Ricky coming in on the main roster with a big win in a very hotly anticipated match between him and Cody in WWE on a big stage like SummerSlam, that's how you make a guy. Because Cody's going to be as over as he's ever going to be regardless of that, right? He's a made guy. He's over. It's not going to change overnight like that. But for Ricky, that would mean everything. And that's what I would do if I was WWE. I would have major plans for him, have him go win the IC championship, have him go win. This is a guy who will genuinely be one of your key main eventers for the next decade if they play their cards right. Now, does Triple H as a booker worry me? Absolutely. Absolutely. And he should worry you as well, because let's be honest, 2025, 2024, not a good year at all for Triple H as a booker, but he's got a nearly undeniable talent in Ricky Starks. We'll see if he can get that job done, but we'll see. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Man, you guys went ape in the chat while I was droning on. Let's see what you got. Omer needs more coffee. I do need more coffee. Actually, no, I don't. Here's the thing. I enjoy coffee. I just don't enjoy the way it makes me, wired all night. I can't drink coffee past, 6 p.m. Unless I know I'm going to be up until, fucking, 3 in the morning or whatever. But yeah, no, coffee that late, that's not going to work. It's on some Hulk Hogan 2000 WCW shit. That's not going to work for me, brother. My prediction. Ricky versus Dragon Lee for the Speed Championship. Please, God, do not put Ricky on Speed. Omer, you've been critical of Tony's handling of Ricky's situation. In your opinion, is this the WWE biggest signing since Cody Rhodes? biggest signing, then it's Cody Rhodes. I have to think about that. I mean, I don't know. Like some of the names aren't coming to my head immediately. Like Jade Cargill, I'd say is like probably on this level. I don't know if this is bigger than that. It has the potential to be, given the way they've booked Jade over the past year. But I'll get back to you on that. Let me think about and stew on that a little bit. The biggest, definitely not. Yeah, give me some names. I mean, why do you need... This is why you need two big companies. Absolutely. Because when one company fucks up, the other company can be there to not only not do what the previous company did, but, you know, accentuate the good aspect of that talent. Ricky has huge potential to become a huge star and show Tony what he missed out on. Absolutely, man. Hey, there's a reason why he posted that Kendrick thing. Say Drake. The first promo MJF got cooked in a promo. Yep, that was the first time he got cooked. And he got cooked. Tony Khan was also pissed that Stephanie Vaquer left AEW and immediately went to NXT after losing the title Mercedes. I understand why that would be frustrating, but you can't blame the talent on that front. Like that's just the way it is. If you're like, if you're like CMLL or whatever, like, you might feel some type of way because you're like, I expected you to be here, but I don't know. I mean, look, he was able to get out of her contract. She was able to sign with a major wrestling company that was going to highlight her. I'm not going to blame Stephanie for making that choice. Evidently, she made the correct decision. Should WWE save Rusev and Malachi's return for the Raw after Mania? That could be really good. That could be really good for them. I think you definitely need some surprises for the Raw after Mania. We haven't seen that many that I can remember over the last couple of years. So I think it's time to rejuvenate that. Definitely. We got Reality saying, I will say the only problem I have with Ricky's doing is that promo before he feuded with Jay White when he went into business for himself. Not who I'm fighting next, but where I'm going next. Love, Ricky. I mean, sometimes people are just going to say stuff on the mic, man. It is what it is. Those three signings aren't big deals. They were all there before. Which big signings? That rant is definitely going to be uploaded as a separate video, isn't it? Yeah, you're damn right it is, because I'm going to be out of town this weekend, so there are going to be some videos going to be uploaded. Stop ruining the surprise, Wall Street money. Although you already know about that capitalism life. No one knows what truly happened behind closed doors between Ricky and AEW, so people need to stop automatically assuming the company is at fault versus Ricky himself. I mean, look, my default is to assume every company is at fault, all right? I'm a staunch anti-capitalist. This is what I do, baby. If you're a company, there's very, very little chance you're going to get the benefit of the doubt unless we know better. I can't wait for Stephanie Vaquer versus Julia, maybe the title versus title match in the future. That would be great. That'd be great. And I think that, like, Stephanie Vaquer has, like, an aura about her. If you watch the NXT women and kind of how they've been booked, like, the NXT women have, like, probably the most aura of any, like, real talent in WWE outside of, like, the top people, like Roman, Cody, and, Bianca Belair and those types. But, like, the NXT women, I would say, like, beat WWE's mid-card talent as far as the energy they bring to a crowd and to a match. Like, just look at the Royal Rumble, for example. In the Royal Rumble, on top of Def Rebel being absolute dog poop at their job because the music no one knew, no one even had heard of some of these songs, evidently, because the crowd was a reaction. But the second Stephanie Vaquer came out, arena lost its mind. 60,000 people chanting, cheering, raving. Same thing happened with every other NXT talent, from Roxanne Perez, who came in, to someone like Jordan Grace, who made her debut, who was in NXT for a little bit, probably going to be in NXT, even though she, I think, has a main roster deal. But they are cooking down there with the women's division in NXT. It's leaping WWE's use of the women's on the main roster. It's leaping their use of their mid-card talent on the main roster. Like, in some ways, you could say as far as like pure entertainment, like and common sense stories and building up matches, they're doing a better job than anything on the main roster in WWE as far as the NXT women's division. And it's a testament to Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels right now is where Triple H was nearly a decade ago. You remember when Triple H was booking NXT and they had all those hot takeovers and they had all those big moments and, you know, like they would be selling out massive arenas. Obviously, they don't have that level of hype for this on a more mainstream front. And I think the big reason why is back then you didn't have all of these different challenger brands to WWE that were as hot as they were. You didn't have AEW, right? You didn't have that alternative. NXT, the black and gold era, was the alternative. But simply watching the product, I can tell you this. There is nothing I'm more excited about in WWE than what they are doing on NXT. It is, in my opinion, week to week WWE's best show. SmackDown at this point is in the toilet, not from a ratings perspective, genuinely from a entertainment perspective and just little common sense storytelling. Last week's SmackDown was, in my view, a big slap in the face to anyone who watches week to week because it had just so many little things, so many big things, I should say, that were just gaping logic holes, things that you don't associate with the Triple H brand of WWE. So to me, in wrestling, I look for common sense, logical storytelling that also engages me with spectacle, right? Because at the end of the day, we want a little bit of spectacle. NXT is lapping them. And it's, again, a testament to Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is killing it. But it also just shows you kind of where Triple H is. And, you know, they always say, like, a booker has a certain, like, shelf life. They only have, like, a couple of good years of booking before they really start to nosedive. And that's when, like, they become a little bit too used to what they do. And we know Triple H, he likes to talk about it. You know, what we do in this business, global brand, all that stuff that he likes to talk about. Like, it's real. It's real. So, to me, if you're looking for good wrestling, good storytelling, NXT is the show to watch. And it just is not hitting as much on SmackDown. Raw is generally a better show. I would say it's a good show. It's a fun show. Like I enjoy watching Raw most weeks. But I just don't think it's anywhere close to what NXT is doing, especially that women's division, man. Like, and you're going to see it. Stephanie Vaquer, when she comes up, there's going to be a window and an opportunity for her, for Julia, for everyone in that women's division down there in NXT to make a massive impact on the main roster immediately. What was the biggest reason why Paige, why Charlotte Flair, why Becky Lynch, why Sasha Banks all clicked in the way they did when they were brought up to the main roster? What was the reason? It was because they were introduced as major stars, as major characters on the show. Wasn't always pretty week to week as far as the storytelling goes, but they were introduced as major stars. And if I'm Triple H or I'm looking at Triple H, that's the big thing he has to make sure. He's got to make sure that he's able to have like those big people, like these people presented in a big way. You damn right I opened a can of I'm ranting today. This is ranting with Omer. All right. This is not wrestling with Omer anymore. This is ranting with Omer. But yeah, I do believe that right now they're getting lapped, man. Like, and this isn't even like my full on Triple H rant. I went on a massive rant last week, right before the Super Bowl about Triple H because it's just not good. Like, and it's not coming from a point of like, oh, WWE sucks. Let me go on the internet and talk about how terrible it is. And AEW is my favorite. I don't give a shit about that, bro. That's what I don't care about. Shout out Kenny Baum. But like for me, man, it's like I just want things to be better. When Tony Khan was booking the main event picture in AEW really bad, and still kind of is, I was calling that out. All right? And you go see a lot of people in the comment section, you don't say nothing about AEW. That's fine. That's fine. As long as you comment and engage, that's all I care about. Anyway, but yeah, look, it is what it is, man. He's getting lapped by Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels, man, he might be the guy. Like Shawn Michaels might be the guy in the next 10 years. We're thinking, okay, all right, maybe Shawn Michaels, because we were having those same conversations about Triple H a couple of years ago, right? We're like, well, maybe Triple H should be booking the main roster because he's so good. And I think now we're having those conversations, about Shawn Michaels. Middle Eastern pipe bomb here. Like South Asian. I don't know. Is Pakistan? Pakistan, I guess, isn't considered the Middle East by most people. So it is what it is. Better back read our chant after all. I'll back read the chat. Don't worry. I'll back read the chat. All right. We'll do that. We'll do it up here. But yeah, I mean, look, I do think that there's a massive problem right now with the way WWE books the main roster, and they got to figure it out. And maybe part of the issue, or part of the solution, I should say, is telling Shawn, hey, Shawn, maybe you want to book SmackDown? Triple H, you can be the chief creative officer. You can be like, all right, Triple H, you can kind of oversee everything, but Shawn's booking the show. Maybe that's what we got to do. Shout out to him. But y'all let me know. I mean, y'all are letting me know right now. This is crazy. Y'all do a lot of talking in the chat while I'm ranting. What do you got here? It's a sport, or it is a business/sport. People go to either company/team all the time. Yep. Watch any sport. People are always going to go back and forth in between. That's what happens. But I don't know. I hopefully we get some main roster people going to NXT, because some of the way they're being booked on the main roster ain't it. It ain't it at all. The accent is a mix of Dax Harwood and Jim Cornette. I'm on the internet. That one. I mean, I don't even know, what is that supposed to be. I'm on the internet. Dax Harwood and Jim. No, Jim Cornette's like, well, you guys, gosh darn it. Tony Khan done it again. He's killed wrestling. That rat bastard. Although, I do enjoy Bruce Pritchard's imitation of Cornette, because he goes like, oh, God, it's just insanely high pitched. If you have to pick one booker, Triple H or Tony Khan, for me personally, Tony. I think Tony right now is a better booker than Triple H. Triple H has a longer history of booking better. But if I were to pick right now, it would be Tony Khan. What gives Triple H a pass lately is WWE do many crazy over men and women in the Vince era who only wanted Roman over. Yeah, I mean, they've achieved the dream of the brand being the draw. And when you have that, you can kind of book shit. They're bigger than Disney. They're going to draw record gates for the next potentially a couple of years before business begins to die down, because eventually there will be a new normal and a new level set of expectations for WWE, but eventually it'll come back down. To be fair, Cody still plays dumb why he left AEW. Brandy act like she wants to say, though, there is something there. I mean, I think for Cody it's a combination of he's not someone who dwells on things that happened in the past, negative things especially happened in the past. It does seem like there were things that had to do with Brandy that played a role in him wanting to leave. And again, that's Cody and Brandy's story to tell. But I also think part of it is Cody's it's wrestling. You never say never. Never thought I would be back in WWE. Maybe. He's like, look, if a day ever comes that I need to go back to AEW, or I decide I want that relationship to be there still. I almost thought when Omer said, for me, he was, hey, Bryan Danielson for the best booker. I mean, Bryan Danielson's the best everything in wrestling. The greatest wrestler of all time, the greatest promo of all time, the greatest in-ring technical superstar of all time, everything. WWE, to me, is just still entertainment, not really wrestling. They have some really good matches. The Punk versus Drew match, I thought last year was their match of the year. They have some really good matches. WWE cooks. Like when they cook, they really cook. It's just like it is a lot of like look at the Mania 40 main event, for example. That was like all spectacle. It wasn't meant to be a good match. It was just meant to be. It's exactly what Roman's matches have kind of turned into over the past couple of years. It's just segments. They're just segments, and that's fine. They're action packed and whatever, but they are what they are. My opinion, it was really telling when Cody stopped being featured in being the elite. I mean, I wouldn't read too much into that. Cody was doing like a lot of stuff. Look, again, I'm not here to say like, you know. I think at the end of the day, Cody, the elite, everyone here are businessmen, and like it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, that man got cooked. Anyway, I do want to show like I have like a video or a couple of videos. I guess I want to show that we can get into. What do we got here? Ooh, what's your reaction to Zach losing? Yo, shout out to Goto, bro. I was hyped. You want to talk about who's cooking? The best booker right now. The best booker right now, bro. New Japan Pro Wrestling booking the best TV. Well, not TV, but like the best wrestling right now. New Japan Pro Wrestling has to be. I'm back into New Japan in a way like I wasn't over the past couple of years. Like it genuinely to me feels like when I really got into New Japan in like 2016 through 2018. Like I have that same like feeling of like, oh man, there's a big New Japan show. And, you know, as sad as I was to see Zach lose that title, man, I thought it was the right decision. Where's Camille? I read she was doing a movie. She may be, but she's not on TV. That I can tell you. Cody is still close with Young Bucks and Hangman. Is that a question? I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, close is like, I don't know how close. Like, I don't know them, but I mean, I think in interviews they seem to be fine. They seem to be fine. What am I looking for here? Actually, yeah, no, this is actually let's talk about this because this is actually a really nice story out of pro wrestling here. So you guys might remember that a couple of months ago, maybe like a month or two ago at this point, Chris Bay, TNA superstar Chris Bay, suffered a pretty catastrophic injury, and the details of the injury were kind of kept. I'm not gonna say secret, but like obviously, like you know, he was hurt and. You don't want to put that out there without like his consent or whatever, but he posted this video on X along with a statement where he's seen like walking, and you know he basically said that the doctors gave him you know a very low chance of being able to walk, but he's finally able to do so. He had to teach himself how to walk again, but he's back at least walking. You know, as far as wrestling goes, like you know that's secondary, man. Like the fact that he's able to walk again and is amazing. And shout out to Chris Bay. He has a GoFundMe. Please go donate to him. You can go follow him on Twitter, and I think it's in his bio at dashing Chris Bay. At dashing Chris Bay, BEY is how you spell Bay. So go check it out, man. Give that man some love. We got Ryan Davis in the chat. Okay, let's say you're AEW. You can't keep, pay, nor focus on everyone, and it's okay to let guys like Starks, Ego, and Cody go. Let them become larger in the wrestling world the same way Brian did. That's it, man. Sometimes you just gotta like let people go. It's okay. It's okay. Thoughts on AEW All in Texas, Mercedes versus Mariah TBS Championship. Tony defends versus Jamie. I think Tony should. I think Mercedes versus. I would say Mercedes versus Athena should be the match. Athena is a Texas native, and I think it's gonna definitely generate some buzz and interest. I would do Athena and Mercedes, and then I would do for the World Championship. Excuse me. I don't know. I mean, for the world, I mean, I would have to think about that one a little bit more. But for the World Championship, I mean, Tony, You could do Tony versus anybody. Tony versus Chris, and having Chris's crowning moment being at that pay-per-view would be amazing. Omer, you mentioned New Japan, so TVSI, you probably rubbing their hands, submitting that copyright claim. Nah, man. Nah, man. They hit me. They hit me, and that shit hurt. So it sucks. It really does suck. I mean, like, bro, like you're telling me, you're TV Asahi, you're New Japan Pro Wrestling, you think it's a good thing that creators, that people who cover wrestling, who cover WWE, who cover AEW, who actually help add to the ecosystem of people getting excited about these shows, you think it's a good thing that creators can't talk about your product because they're going to get copyright stricken? Dude, forget about even having photos or images or videos of whatever, of New Japan matches. You can't even talk about it. Because if God forbid, I have a fucking thumbnail that includes Zack Sabre Jr. or the IWGP World Championship, which, by the way, New Japan turned into from one of the best belts in pro wrestling to one of the shittiest belts in pro wrestling. We're not going to talk about that. But I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, look. The fact that creators have to live in fear of talking about New Japan and covering New Japan Pro Wrestling, because if we even utter a word, those bots, yes, those bots that TV Asahi has going through those channels, those bots are gonna hit us with a copyright strike. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's a big reason why a lot of creators don't cover New Japan, and it's hurt New Japan. It really has, because there is so much excitement about the product. And I've talked to creators who are excited about New Japan Pro Wrestling. I've talked to people who want to cover it. But you hear the same thing. It's the same reason why I don't cover it in the way that I want to. It's because if you talk about it, you're jeopardizing the future of your channel. There have been channels that have been like literally overnight, just bam, gone, canceled, out of here, because TVIC decided to like copyright strike 3 videos. And at that point, you have to go through an entire thing to get your channel unbanned. It is insane. It's crazy. And it sucks, man. It sucks not only for us as creators, and like this isn't like oh man, creators need to be able to create thing. Even though, yeah, you're damn right. You're fucking right, creators need to be able to create. But it's also a big thing for the New Japan popularity. Because a couple of years ago, like 10 years ago, this wasn't as big of a problem. Because people were covering New Japan. People were talking about Kenny. People were talking about Okada. And that is why, a big reason, I should say, why there was so much buzz about those guys and those shows. It's why people knew, man, that Wrestle Kingdom match was insane, out of this world. Everyone needs to go watch it. That was hitting the internet. Everyone was talking about it. Cultaholic was talking about it. What Culture was talking about it. Everyone was. Meltzer. But now, great show happens. Hey, yeah, this New Japan thing happened. We're not going to title the video this because we're scared. It sucks, man. It sucks. Because the only people it's hurting, outside of the creators, the people who it's hurting that we can't talk about New Japan without the idea of getting us copyright stricken, is New Japan Pro Wrestling. Because then you can't have creators talking to their audience like, hey, maybe you should check out this cool thing. Here's this cool thing I'm excited about. That's like a large reason why like a lot of us do this. I mean, like, I'll be honest, bro. I could be doing a lot of other stuff. I could be doing a lot of other stuff than talking to you guys right now. But I love pro wrestling. I'm passionate about pro wrestling. And I want to tell you about the stuff that I love. And right now, New Japan to me is amazing. But man, like literally, Wall Street Money, literally. I'm pretty sure you can't even record from your phone in New Japan for their pay-per-views. I mean, forget recording. Like I know people who have used pictures from New Japan events that they have permission to use, that are not owned by New Japan, that are not owned by TV Asahi, that are not owned by anyone but an independent creator or an independent cameraman, and they were still copyright stricken. What are we doing? Like, this is why it's so hard to establish a foothold for them in North America, because all of the influencers who talk about WWE and all that kind of stuff, that has played a major role in WWE gaining popularity. And I am not saying that New Japan is going to be as popular as WWE before you guys go the internet. But what I am saying is New Japan Pro Wrestling would have a lot more buzz about it if creators were allowed to talk about it without fear of being copyright struck into oblivion and hell. And it's TV Asahi more than a New Japan thing. Absolutely, it is TV Asahi. But it's hurting New Japan is why I'm talking about it. It's hurting New Japan. Facts. Reality era. This is what I wish. Don't we all? But no. I mean, but it's a serious thing, and I've talked about it before. I've ranted about it before. It does suck though, because personally, I'll put like my analyst hat off, all that stuff. Personally, dude, I want people to be excited about New Japan the way I am. And that's not like a call for everyone to feel the exact same way I do about wrestling. But man, it's really cool to see people geek out about how great New Japan is, because there's so many talented people over there. There's so many talented people that are telling some of the best stories in pro wrestling in that company. From Gabe Kidd to Zack Sabre Jr. to Goto to the last run of Tanahashi. There's so much going on there that people want to talk about, that people want to geek out about and tell you, the fans, why they're excited. But we can't. Or we could, but it comes with some strings attached, or it's difficult to do. Like, I even think if you go What Culture, Simon Miller, when because they reviewed it, which was a surprise to me. I mean, it was literally the biggest thing the next day after the Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd match. Simon Miller on What Culture actually reviewed the show, and he even stated, New Japan and TV Asahi are pretty weird about copyrights, so this is going to be a weirdly edited video and all that kind of stuff. And they got around it. Shout out to them. I think the video is still up. But the fact that it's at a point where creators are literally I'm better off not talking about it because I can't risk my channel being cooked or whatever. Because here's the thing. It's not just even get one copyright strike, right? Once you get that one copyright strike, it's there for 90 days. So, and your room to mess up is very slim, right? Your room to mess up is very slim because you get another one, automatically you can't stream for a certain period of time. You're suspended. Your channel gets suspended. If you get a third one, you lose access to your channel. And it's very hard to contact YouTube. It's very hard to do all that stuff. So, it does suck. It does suck. But that's literally the reason why a lot of people don't cover New Japan. And it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. I wish the situation was better. Hopefully TV Asahi will get off their high horse and let people cover it. Don't even I don't even need people should be allowed to use pictures because it's fair use or whatever, but I don't even need pictures, man. Just let me talk about it without having the fear that my channel is going to get cooked. Third strike, channel nuked. Exactly. Screw it. Merge HBO with New Japan World. We don't need TV Asahi. Bring it in, man. Bring it in. Man. We'll see, man. Hopefully we get to a point where it's better. But congrats on 100 episodes of OT Grabs. Definitely going to watch the big 100. Yep, OT Grabs this Tuesday live right here, youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling. Me and Trevor are going to be cooking it up over there. And guys, go support the OT Graps channel as well, youtube.com/OT Graps. Oh, here we go. This is a good question here. Omer, do you value more a great match or a great story? And my answer to this is definitely going to be a cop-out to some people. By the way, guys, be sure to smash that thumbs up. I see there's 24 of you watching right now, only 14 likes. Let's get that up to 20 at least. Come on, help the algo out. Story or match? I am definitely one. First of all, okay, I will answer this with what I think people are going to presume is a cop-out, but it's not. Match supports story. Story supports match. That is just the truth of it. I think that there, for a weird reason, has trickled out this idea that simply having a great match and trying to tell a story through a match is not storytelling. And I don't agree with that. I think that the physicality and the way you can tell a story in a match is the most powerful way, in my view, to tell a story. Like, there's several different ways to tell a story. You can burn someone's house down. You can do a backstage vignette. You can do like a pre-tape and all that kind of stuff. There's several different ways, and none of them are wrong. I think having the variety is a good thing. But there is nothing to me that tops the ability of telling a great story in a great match. And sometimes that's when the best stories, that's when stories you don't expect develop, right? I mentioned Ricky Starks versus Bryan from All Out 2023. That was a match that was put together at the very last minute because CM Punk got fired. And if you saw that match, the story they told in there of like, you know, he's down one arm, man. Homie's down one arm. He broke his arm just a couple of months ago, and Ricky's working on it. Like that, like little stuff and them building up and crescendoing. Like, that's what it's all about to me. But I also love the Roman Cody stuff, right? Like, was it a great wrestling match? No, but the Mania 40 main event was amazing to watch. It was cool. It was cool as shit. Like, there's different ways to tell stories in pro wrestling. But, man, like, when you have a great match that tells a story, there's nothing like it, in my opinion. And that's why you'll hear me talk about, like, great matches. Like, Swerve versus Ospreay last year at Forbidden Door was my match of the year because that match told an insane story. You had the cross-section of Swerve not trying to hit the Tiger Driver 91 because the month before he broke, quote-unquote, Bryan Danielson's neck or whatever. You have that mixed with Swerve coming in trying to prove himself against the guy who everyone in the arena, everyone at home thinks is the best in the world. The guy who literally just beat the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, who, the story they told, overshadowed Swerve's moment. I thought that was a great story. Is it like the thing that's going to be like Roman walking around looking at the arena with his aura? No. But also, how many times can you get away with that? You know? I think we're finding out right now. I'll give you a good example. Randy versus Triple H, amazing build-up, but the match was boring. Yeah, that's the other thing. When you have an awesome build-up and it's great, the match has to deliver to whatever degree, right? And it can take different forms. It can take the form of like the Cody versus Roman stuff that was just like, regardless, you were going to leave this arena or the stadium thinking that you got your money's worth. And you did at Mania 40. You did. Although, tickets were crazy. But, nevertheless, I think that there's credence to that too. So, anyway. So tired. What else do we got? I bookmarked a lot of stuff. Guys, by the way, be sure to leave a thumbs up. But yeah, I mean, like I'm never going to be the guy who's like, oh, great. Like, a segment wasn't great because it didn't have a match or whatever. Like, but we're watching wrestling, right? I think it's obvious to me that if you're telling a great story, it ends in a great match. That doesn't mean you have to be, you know, fucking Bryan Danielson or Will Ospreay, like, type of wrestler. You look at, like, Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman last year. They had a kick-ass match to end Raw. That was my Raw match of the year last year. They had a kick-ass match. It was like a whatever Monsters Ball match or whatever the hell they want to call that. It was cool. It was really dope to see. And like and they are not people who are doing flips and stuff. Like they're telling really good stories. FTR versus who was it? It was FTR versus God damn it. Who was it? The Bang Bang Gang. Juice Robinson and Jay White on Collision. That was great. Who sold the house? WrestleMania. That's crazy. Who sold out? I mean, some of those tickets were great. Yo, so what was it? I think I was going to Bad Blood, right? Okay, so here's the funny story for y'all. So at a certain point, me, Kenny, Brian, shout out to the KTR crew. Me, Kenny, and Brian were trying to go to we had made this plan. We were going to Bad Blood, and it was in Atlanta. I had bought a ticket that was non-refundable, and they wouldn't even give me like a flight credit or whatever. It was like, oh, you cooked now, because it was on one of those airlines. But I mean, the ticket was like $80, so I was like, $80 is crazy. Let's do it. Anyway, so we all had that plan. Whatever reason, things fell through. I was the only one who made it to Atlanta. And in the lead up, I was like, all right, I'll wait a little bit. I'll wait until like maybe before I leave to buy the ticket. You know, I have this thing with tickets where I usually buy it last minute because that's when the prices really drop. And here's what I will say. I land that morning and I look at, I land that morning. I'm walking around Atlanta. I'm like refreshing all the little ticketing apps. By the way, this amazing app right here is how I ended up purchasing that ticket. So you guys can save money on your next purchase from SeatGeek. Save $20 off your first purchase, I should say, from SeatGeek by using the promo code RealTake. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But I'm like refreshing it, and I'm like, okay, look, it was like $500 to get into the building. I wasn't about to pay no $500 to get in the building. That's what I'm not doing. I'm not a WWE mark like that, like Brian. But I'm like looking and like front row or like floor tickets for that show. I saw someone list one of their floor tickets for $25,000. And at that point, it was like 1 p.m. I was like, all right, show starts at like 6. I might have came this way. I'm not even going to watch the fucking show. I'm not going to be even there. And I was content with that. I was like, all right, well, this is ridiculous. Because I was not spending $500 to get in the building, all right? And look, I'll admit this much. I'm a bowl guy. I got to sit in that lower bowl. If I don't sit in that lower bowl, I'm not going to the show. I'm not sitting up high. No, I don't do that. Look, shout out to everyone who does. Experience. That's how I would experience shows a long time ago. But now I'm like, nah. I gotta have a decent seat. Anyway, eventually, like literally, show starts at like 6 p.m. or whatever. It is 4 p.m. and I see a ticket that is $200. Bam. I jumped on it, and it was great. I got good seats, lower bowl, right behind the entrance, so it was actually a really good seat. No one to my left, no one to my right. It was exactly the way I wanted it. Thank you, SeatGeek. Anyway, I'm a marketing powerhouse. I mean, I work in marketing. I better be. Nah, Brian buys like 2 extra seats so he can double. Hey, yo! Nah. That's crazy. They cooking my boy. Oh my goodness, bro. That's wild. I mean, he does though. He's crazy, bro. I mean, he doesn't need to even buy tickets. Come on now. See, that's the thing. Brian will tell you he needs to buy tickets, but him and Lex, bro, they're executives. They get that executive treatment. That's crazy. Oh man. Here we go. We got, how would you book the build-up between Jey Uso and Gunther because fans just watch them face each other at Saturday Night's Main Event? I think you can use that to bounce off and build off a feud and have Jey win, because I think Jey's probably going to win that match. I'm not as down about it being like a repeat. I think it's just more about like how they tell that story. I do think they've done a good job, at least this first week, with telling that story. Like I enjoyed this argument and like the way that Jey picked Gunther. I thought that was great. So I just want to again see it develop over the next couple of weeks what they do. Anyway, that's crazy. Double support. Double supporting is crazy. Oh man. Anyway, guys. Well, let's see what else. I mean, oh yeah. By the way, happy 3 year. How long has it been? How long have I had that? 2022. Yeah, it's the 3-year anniversary of this channel. Happy 3-year birthday to Real Take Wrestling. Shout out to Real Take Wrestling. Happy 3 years. There is like another thing that I do want to talk about. So, y'all remember Hulk Hogan was getting cooked by fans. He was getting booed in the Intuit Dome. He was getting booed wherever he went. He was getting cooked online because he said some extremely offensively, disgustingly racist things in the past. It doesn't stop there because now the boy is getting sued. Yes, Hulk Hogan is getting sued, my friends. Here is the report, the aggregation from Wrestle Purists. according to Fox 8 News. Hulk Hogan and his Real American Beer Company, the WWE's newly signed official sponsor, our partner, I should say, are being sued by a woman after she was hit on the head with a can of beer last August. The impact caused the woman to have a big open wound on the forehead after Hogan and other promoters were riling up the crowd with free cans being thrown. So it seems like it was a bit of a free T-shirt type of thing. Like maybe that like a having a beer can gun is crazy. Don't be doing that. But Hulk Hogan riling people up at a rally, that's insane. He should not be doing that. That's kind of how we got stuck in the mess we're in right now. But regardless, I mean, bro, dude, the PR could not be worse around Hulk Hogan and Real American Beer, especially for like WWE, right? WWE right now, like, they're in a messy PR situation. I mean, I don't think they care as much as I think fans probably think they do. Triple H is literally out here supporting the Linda McMahon at her hearing or whatever for the Department of Education, which at this point, the richest man in the world is going to probably cook that too. But, I mean, like, she's, like, Hulk Hogan's getting sued. Real American Beer is getting sued. Man is getting booed. Netflix got booed. I'm like, in any like sane world, this would be like, okay, maybe we need to distance ourselves from this. But at the end of the day, WWE bought into this business. Let's remember that. WWE bought into Real American Beer. They are, I believe, one of the biggest investors in this. And that's why you originally saw the name of the beers splattered all over the mat, the ring canvas. They were very apparent that this is the official beer sponsor of WWE Raw on Netflix or whatever. And it's wild because, like, again, like, I mean, I don't think they care because at this point, like, WWE, like, they're talking, like, you got Triple H a couple of months ago talking about Brock Lesnar, and that whole situation is insane. There's even people, like, not people in the company, but, like, Mark Shapiro, who is the president, I believe, of TKO. He was talking about how, you know, I'm thinking like maybe we'll have breakfast with Vince. You know, you never know. And I'm sitting here like, what? And that whole situation, like people, I mean, there's this whole thing about, oh, the feds have ended the inquiries or whatever. We talked about this last month. That's not a surprise. Like New York Post out here posting it as if it's news, bro. Y'all just need clicks. Shout out to y'all. I mean, I guess we all need clicks, don't we? But like, I don't know. It's crazy to me. A freak accident, but sue Hulk Hogan by all means, says Leo Relic. Good, Hogan deserves it. I mean, like, here's the thing. If you're out here riling up your fans and tossing, you can't miss. That's the thing I'm getting. Like, I'm not, look, I don't know about the lawsuit. I don't know. Hands off there, all right, Terry? But look, you could have at least looked where you were throwing. I'm just saying. Because they even show like a picture of the gash or the alleged gash. And it is, that's like that's not unsubstantial. That's kind of wild, bro. That's kind of wild. So, like, by all means, look, Hulk Hogan. I'm no fan of Hulk Hogan. I will never defend that man because I don't need to defend that man. But that is wild to me. If that is true, if people were riling up people and throwing cans and someone got hit, like, you're liable for that, man. Because at the end of the day, if it's at your event, if it's at a rally that you're doing, that's on you. That's on you. Like, if you're the one, like, throwing it out, too, and if that's your plan, you got to be careful, man. Hulk Hogan in court. It wasn't me. Could you imagine him just walking up in the court? That's not going to work for me, brother. It's like 10 years. Nope. Creative control, brother. Like, could you imagine that? That'd be wild. Why would you show that? It's there. The victim in court, I feared for my own, look, bro, if I'm at a Hulk Hogan-led rally, that'd be crazy. That's all I'm going to say. Wouldn't fear for my own life, but that'd be crazy. I'd be looking around my shoulder, all right? A lot of trouble here. Also, who the fuck? Look, time out on all of this. Who the hell goes to a Real American Hulk Hogan rally, bro? Like, what is the? I mean, I know exactly who goes to those. Anyway, before I get canned for that, I I don't even know, man. I would book Becky going against Lyra Valkyria for the IC title at WrestleMania and give the energy to the women's mid-card scene. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Yeah. I trust Shawn Michaels more to book Ricky Starks correctly than I do Triple H. Yep, same. I just don't think Hunter's got the juice right now. He don't got the juice, baby. Oh, you guys want to see something funny? So this is from Linda McMahon's hearing earlier today. Let me see if I can play the audio. Turn this up a little bit.
Will you return some common sense to our campuses in this way?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Linda McMahon, you're fired. That was funny. Linda McMahon, you're fired. That's wild. Oh, man. So is Charlotte a babyface or a heel? I think they're making... That's fluid. She's fluid right now. She's whatever. I think whatever the town is going to do, they're going to do. I think she should be a heel. That's just my take. Tony Khan don't got the juice either because Juice Robinson ain't back. Hey, man, shout out to Juice Robinson, bro. Speaking of Juice Robinson, let's talk about his better half, as it were. Because Tony Storm's got a major match coming up. AEW Grand Slam. That's going to be a big show. It's going to be a major show for AEW. Let me pull up the card real quick because there's so much to talk about when it comes to that show. Sorry. Let me just find this thing I'm looking for. Man, trying to find stuff can be crazy online. Oh, here we go. I found it. Coral Wars. What the hell is ROH Coral Wars? Hold up. I'm literally seeing this for the first time here. So they got this. Okay, so if you guys see, like, in the top right corner, there's like a Athena versus Alex Windsor, excuse me. Global Wars Australia. I thought I said Coral Wars. Yeah, I'm cooked right now. Anyway, wow. All right. I guess they're doing some sort of ROH special too. Why not, man? Shout out to them. Do an ROH special. Get the town over there paid. Wait, Maximum Male Models? Hold up. We got MXM Collection in the building. Oh, that ROH show is going to be hilarious. Let's go. And wait a minute. Bandito teaming up with the Outrunners? Hey, yo, wait a minute. I'm kind of hyped about this. Bandito and the Outrunners against the Learning Tree. And then you got, bro, this is, I mean, yo, shout out to Global Wars. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun show. Anyway, but Grand Slam's coming up. We got some big matches, 3 big ones. Actually, more than 3. We got 4 big ones, and then 1. 3 big ones, 2 pretty decent ones. Let's talk about the pretty decent ones first. Kazuchika Okada versus Buddy Matthews. Buddy Matthews, of course, hometown guy. He's from Australia. They're going to give him a big match. I don't think that Buddy's going to be walking away with the Continental Championship, but I think he's going to be a big moment for him. But obviously, the matches everyone really, really is into. Ospreay, Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher's coming in as a hometown guy. Kenny Omega and Ospreay it's an insane tag team to have. So I think that's going to be, that's obviously great. And I think the way they've told that story is awesome too. Like it's super dope. You got Leo. What is Leo saying? Global Wars between AEW, ROH, so much better than they split the brands. No, they ain't splitting those brands. AEW adding cooked mint? I don't even know what that is. Can someone ask Tony Khan in the media scrum if it was a pay-per-view? He has lamented multiple times that this is not a pay-per-view. So that's Tony's defense there. But I love the way they built up this tag team match, and I think it's a great way to build up a rematch for Kyle Fletcher. And so, bro, saw MX7 and got 2. Hey, bro, come on, bro. Look at you covering them up. Don't be covering them up like that. Let's show Show the masses what true stars look like. No, let's see. Look at that. That's what stars. Those are stars right there. Look at that. Look at that. I'm getting a call right now. Who's calling? Hello. I'm on the stream, bro. What's up? All right, I'll call you back later. All right. He told me to tell the viewers he loves them. Shout out to Marcus. Anyway, deadass just took a phone call on stream. That's crazy. Anyway, shout out to MXM. They cooking over there. This show at this point, this show is just me popping myself as much as possible. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to that tag team match. They're gonna get a pretty big lead in with the NBA All-Star game, and I think that match, the Omega Osprey tag team match, is the best way to kind of like take advantage of that lead in. Just have them come out straight up, all in action, just go. Like those are the guys you want to kind of be that transition for, because you're gonna have again an insane lead in for that. So gotta do it. Do not redeem it, Omer. Redeem what? Redeem these anyway. Let's talk about the other big match everyone's excited for. I know I am. The TBS Championship on the line. The star, Harley Cameron, feel the wrath, coming off of what I thought was one of the best well-rounded promos I've seen from someone who, like, obviously has not had, like, you know, the years of experience in you know, big-time professional wrestling as you would want, but Harley Cameron, dude, she has proven herself. Obviously, with the stuff she's been doing on Rampage, she's gotten a lot better, and there's been a lot of talk about that. But what we've seen from her in the past, like, month with this feud, from her segment singing to the reigns that she has, like, this past week, that Dynamite promo she had where she started to do a rap, and it turned into a very serious, like, babyface promo. I'm sitting there as a viewer, and I'm just like, bro, I want her to win this belt. I'm invested in this character. And if this show is just happening anywhere else, obviously it would be like a crazy thing for Mercedes to lose to Harley Cameron or whatever. But given what we've seen from her, and given like given like the way that she's kind of been getting the fan engagement, and the fact that this is in Australia, in her home country, have her win. I'm just going to say it. Have her win that belt. Because I understand that AEW is like all about, like, you know, telling like long-term stories and all that kind of like whatever. And people like think like, oh, it would be dumb to take the belt off of Mercedes. I think he got room for something special here, man. A special moment, right? I understand AEW doesn't book for the moment, and they shouldn't book for the moment. But, bro, sometimes it's just sometimes you just need that, man. You need that, right? Like, it's good to book for the moment in spurts, right? You don't do it every week. You don't have your entire philosophy of booking around big moments. You don't do that. They have to make sense. But I think within the context, this would be an awesome surprise. That crowd would lose their freaking mind. And it would be great for the viewers at home, too. So that's what I think there. Let's talk quickly about this match. Brisbane Brawl is what it is. Let's talk about the real main event. Mariah May, Toni Storm. Okay, as great as Harley Cameron has been, and she's been fantastic, as great as the build-up with the Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay stuff has been, bro, this is it right here. This is peak AEW. Timeless Toni Storm is going to be walking into one of the biggest ovations and atmospheres she's ever had. She's going to be the hometown hero. Her first ever wrestling event, Toni Storm's first ever wrestling event that she attended, was in that same arena. So it's almost kind of karmic that the show ended up moving from Suncorp Stadium to this arena in Brisbane, which, look, I know people, like, there's a lot of flack, and I've said a lot about this company and the way they booked this and marketed this show. One thing you cannot deny is this is going to be a major moment. Toni Storm will retain that championship, and it's going to be awesome. And that title is going to be back where it belongs with timeless Toni Storm. I can't wait. I just wish they used a better Mariah render. It does look like one. I kind of feel you because it does kind of look like one of those, like, we just photoshopped the championship on her. I'm going to say Mariah retains. Nope. I'm telling you, man, it's timeless. Because, like, look, here's the thing. They got to have one of the hometown heroes win, right? At least one. I think timeless Toni Storm has to be the one. You end the night on a good note with her winning. I actually think Harley should win, come full circle. Yeah, it would be great. And, like, look, Mercedes can win it back in, like, a week or two. At the end of the day, it's a TV title. It's not the world champion. It's a TV title. But, like, that moment, to me, I think, personally, it's worth it. You know? I think that moment is worth it. I've heard from Australia fans that it's doing well and they can't wait for AEW. Yeah, man, like, look, they're going to have, like, somewhere in the ballpark of 10,000 people there, which is amazing. That's a great crowd. And it is going to be an electric atmosphere. Those are definitely AEW diehard fans. According to Tony Khan, it was a pretty massive gate for them, too. Like, one of their top international gates. And you look at what they're competing with, right? They're competing with some of AEW's other top international gates were things like Forbidden Door in 2023, which was in Toronto. That got about like 14,000 people in the building for that one. You look at the two All-Ins they had, All in London, All in London Part 2. Like, those are some pretty massive houses to work against. So, like, they drew like nearly 1 million. That's a healthy number for them there. Hopefully they do more international shows. Well, I think the idea is they will. They're definitely going back to Wembley. They're definitely going back to Wembley next year for All In. And they're going to be in London for Forbidden Door. They just haven't announced where. I would assume that that's going to be... Tony's talked a lot about running Craven Cottage, which is where the not the Tottenham Hotspurs, where Fulham FC plays. So that's probably where they would run that, I would think. And, like, I think Tony's family owns that. So casual. Yeah, Tony's family owns that football team, so... Which football team? He owns all the fucking football teams. Anyway, shout out to Tony. All right, guys. I have to run. Sorry about that, but it is the official start of my birthday weekend. So I got to go. Spend time with the fam. Enjoy life. All the ups, downs, and all around that it takes me. Along with some of the recordings of this stream, I will also have some actual news videos coming up. Sorry, it's been a week, but we're gonna be doing it up this week. It's gonna be a fun time. I appreciate every single one of you who joined in. I appreciate y'all. Y'all knew that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tired. You're right. Yeah, whoever, I think it was Wall Street Money. He's like, Omer needs coffee. Yeah, you were right. I probably should have drank some coffee, but I got through an hour and 13 minutes of this stream because that's just how we do. It's time. Every time he speaks, soccer fans leave AEW and come. Don't think about us. He's crazy. Fulham FC fans hate Tony Khan. That's crazy. Yeah. Shout out to everyone for the birthday wishes. I appreciate y'all. It's very welcome in my old age. I'm about to be older than Kenny Baum. That's crazy. Shout out to Kenny Baum. Anyway, guys, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.